Hey YouTube, I'm Mars1952 and I'm in Modesto, California today at my daughter's rental house. And she's got a problem with all of her outlets. This is an expensive house, probably sell for $700,000. But whoever built it put cheap outlets in, probably the cheapest they could get. And consequently, the cord won't stay in. And that's really unsafe, for two reasons. You got gets stuck partially out, and you could shock somebody could get shocked there. But the main thing is, without a good connection, you get arcing, or you can get arcing, and when it arcs, you can have a fire. So the whole place could burn down because they put cheap outlets in. So if this was my house, I would immediately replace all these. But it's a rental. We've notified the landlord. But in the meantime, she's still got to use her outlets, and I'm going to show you how to temporarily fix that. Let me zoom in here. Okay, we're zoomed in. You can see how these things, there's nothing holding it. Now, you can tweak the ends of the plugs. Just get a pair of pliers and put a little twist on them. You just take not very many, just a few degrees on both sides, and you do them opposite direction. I'll do a close-up to show you how to do this. And then they go in pretty stiff, but they stay in there, and it doesn't flicker. See, the light's not flickering, so that's a good solid connection. Now sometimes you've got like an expensive charger. This is still under warranty. We don't want to tweak those plugs, but it barely stays in, and it doesn't really make a good connection all the time. So your phone, if you want your phone to charge at night, it's not going to do it. So to get around that problem, there's several ways to do that. There's several ways around, if you don't want to tweak your outlet plugs. This is just a 3-prong to 2-prong adapter. I got a bunch of these at Harbor Freight. I'll show you the packages close up. And they are unique in that they have the plug with the prongs are a folded piece of metal. So it's just a simple matter of spreading that metal, and they will stick in here and stay. Pretty sturdy. It's actually fairly hard to get out. So then you can plug whatever gizmo you have, as long as it's a 2-prong. You plug it in and it'll stay. That's nice and sturdy, good connections. So if you want to use one of these in a 3-prong outlet, you've got to ground it. And this little tab is just the right size for grounding this in a 2-prong outlet. It doesn't line up here. The hole's not quite right. You're supposed to ground it to the center screw. So I wouldn't recommend this if you want to use a 3-prong. Now if you want to use a 3-prong, you get a 3-prong adapter with a ground plug on it and tweak that. And you can put that in. That's nice and sturdy. That stays in there, and you can just plug your lamp in as well. So I'm going to do a close-up now. I'll show you how to modify these plugs. Okay, so here's a close-up. Hopefully you can see this pretty well. Here is one that has not been tweaked. This is a 3-prong to 3-prong. And here's one that has been tweaked. I'll move that up a little closer. So you don't need to put much of an angle on there. Just enough so that you get good contact. When it slides into the outlet, you don't know what part is loose. So if you tweak it, you tweak them opposite directions. That way, if it's this side will touch or this side will touch. If you do them both the same direction, it's not going to work, because then you don't have any torque. You haven't widened the slot, or you haven't widened the prong surface area. So modifying an existing plug is the easiest. A pair of pliers. Let me get down here. Modifying an existing plug is the easiest. You just take a pair of pliers, turn it, what is that, about 5 degrees, Not too much more than that. If you go more than that, it's going to be really hard to get it to plug in. So that one's ready to use. Now here's another gizmo. This is a little switch that you would use like for Christmas lights. Any kind of light or small appliance that doesn't draw much power, that does not have its own switch. Now I put in a lamp over my daughter's sink. It didn't come with a switch built into the cord, so we use one of these, and I'm going to modify this so that it'll stay plugged into the wall and not catch fire. I've got the camera zoomed in really close so you can see what's going on. This might seem upside down to you, but that's the best I can do. I took a piece of the backing from the packaging from some of this stuff, use it to protect the table, because you inevitably are going to slip. And since you're going to slip, you want to make sure you don't slip and cut yourself. So using a pocket knife, this is a multi-purpose tool, just work it down in there between the bent metal. Alright, I've got to get it started here. Sorry, I'm blocking your view. Just wiggle it. It'll work its way in there. So the same thing works with screwdrivers. Say you have your screwdriver, it's not sharp. You don't want to sharpen your screwdriver for some reason. You can start it with a knife. A dull paring knife works pretty well too. Spread it with your screwdriver, and that's ready to go in. Now when you shove this in the outlet, this will be compressed, and since this is not springy, it won't spring back, but it'll fit perfectly. So there we have the spread. Let's see, make sure you can see that. So that's one. Here's the Harbor Freight. These cost $1 each. You do those with the screwdriver. Got to find a place where you can work the screwdriver tip in. And once again, just wiggle it back and forth. They'll spread readily. I never throw away a screwdriver, and I'm doing a video about what to do with your old screwdrivers. So there you go. Oops, where's it? Here you go. There's a spread one. And as I started to point out before, you've got this little tab here, and that's supposed to be screwed onto the center, the plate cover screw. But since this is designed to go on a 2-prong outlet, it doesn't line up. You can find these that have a little wire sticking out with a connector on them. Those you can use on any kind of outlet. But if you're going to do like a charger or something, a 2-prong thing, you don't need to worry about this. If you're going to do 3-prong, get one of these or something like it. Tweak the plugs and you're good to go. Well, I think that about covers it. Try not to cut yourself. Try not to electrocute yourself.